Kia ora everyone, it's Helen Hortai here, founder of Form Help, and we are on the travelerdeclaration.govt.nz website. And today we are looking at the New Zealand Traveller Declaration, and today's date is the 2nd of September, and I believe the last video I did on the New Zealand Traveller Declaration was in May. So this is an updated version. So let's have a read here. It says everyone travelling to New Zealand by air must complete a declaration and receive a traveller pass before they travel. Now this includes New Zealand citizens and residents, children and infants. As you can see here, it's got some important updates. So if you're flying from Bali or Indonesia, you need to get ready for foot and mouth disease border checks. And if you have travelled to a country with foot and mouth disease, you cannot bring meat or animal products to New Zealand, and you need to make sure your footwear, clothing and equipment is clean before departure, especially if you've been in contact with livestock. And if you need more information, just click on the link here. What you will need. Now, when you are applying for your New Zealand Traveller Declaration, these are the things that you will need to complete the application. So you will need your passport, proof of vaccination if required, travel history for 14 days, flight details, contact details, emergency contact details, and an email address that you have access to. Now, how does the New Zealand Traveller Pass work? Now, once you have completed your New Zealand Traveller Declaration and provided you meet the requirements, a Traveller Pass will be emailed to you. Now, your Traveller Pass will contain a QR code, unique to you and valid for the journey you completed the declaration for. Now, it lets you know what you need to do when you arrive in New Zealand, and you may need to show your Traveller Pass at check-in and when you arrive in New Zealand. And your Traveller Pass can be printed out or saved to your mobile device. Fact sheet, translations and alternative formats. Now, the Traveller Fact Sheet is a quick guide that helps explain the process for the New Zealand Traveller Declaration. Now, it has been translated into multiple languages and alternative formats, including audio, braille, easy read and large print. Now let's have a look at these fact sheets here. So let's click on that link. Now, as you can see here, there's the different formats available. You've also got the translation, so it's got all these different languages that it is translated into. Okay, so we'll go back. Okay, now that we have all that information, let's go ahead and complete our declaration. Now here it says get started, so let's get started. And if you do have a saved declaration, then go into that tab there, but we're going to get started. Now, before you travel to New Zealand, all travellers must complete and submit a New Zealand Traveller Declaration, and this includes citizens and permanent residents of New Zealand, and children and infants. Now, you need to allow at least 30 minutes to do this. Now, your declaration will be automatically saved and a link will be emailed to you, and you can use this link to return to your saved declaration. All right, so in order for you to get back into your saved application, you need to go through the link that has been emailed to you. Now, to complete your declaration, you will need your flight number and date of arrival to New Zealand, the passport you are entering New Zealand on, your COVID-19 vaccination or exemption, and you need to list the countries you have visited in the last 14 days, your contact details in New Zealand, and details of a person who can be your emergency contact. It is important to provide accurate information. Now, if you provide false or misleading information, we may require you provide further evidence that you have met the relevant New Zealand government COVID-19 requirements. And if you are unable to do so, you may be unable to board or subject to penalties such as fines and prosecutions. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Our process. Now, COVID-19 remains an ongoing risk globally. The New Zealand Traveller Declaration, implemented by the New Zealand Government, is part of a comprehensive system to manage these risks. Now, the New Zealand Traveller Declaration checks that travellers flying to New Zealand meet the travel requirements that the government has put in place. Now, to do this, you will need to provide information. Now, this has been made mandatory under the COVID-19 Public Health Response Air Border 2021, and the order has been made under the COVID-19 Public Health Response Act 2020. Now, if you do not provide some or all of this information, you may be unable to travel to or enter New Zealand. So if you go ahead there, you can read the privacy policy. And here it says, I have read and understood the privacy policy, and I understand how my personal information is being collected and used. So if you are agreeable to that, place a check in the box. And over here is an option. I am completing this declaration for my own travel. If you are, then select yes. And if you are not, then you go ahead and select no. So if we do select no, that you are not completing it for yourself, the next question is, I am authorized to complete this declaration for the traveller this form is for. Now, if you are authorized, go ahead and click yes, and then you need to enter your email address there and then proceed to continue. So if you have a parent or someone you're helping out and you're filling out the form on their behalf, then this is the route that you would take, selecting yes, that you are authorized to complete the declaration on their behalf. Okay, so I'm going to go back and we're just going to say that it is for yourself. So yes, I am completing this declaration for my own travel. Okay, we'll proceed to continue. Your passport information. Now in this section you need to enter the details from the passport you will be using to travel to New Zealand. So go ahead and put in your given names as shown on your passport, put in your surname as shown on your passport, your nationality as shown on your passport, and put in your date of birth. So follow the format there. And put in your month. So the month will be 3 letters. So if it's Jan, it's Jan. If you were born in December, then it will be DEC. And then put in your year. Put in your passport number as shown on your passport. And then again, using the same format, put in your passport expiry date. So day, month with 3 letters, and then the year. Contact details, put in an email address, your contact email address, and this is where we will send confirmation details and how we will contact you in New Zealand. So please ensure you can check the email address while you are in New Zealand. Once you have put in all that information, proceed to continue. And once you've proceeded to continue, it will come up with confirm you are not a robot. Now, if you are not a robot, go ahead and confirm I'm not a robot. Confirm. Okay, so now in this example, I need to select all the images with the motorcycles. Okay, so go ahead and do that and then press verify. And then you can proceed again to confirm. Your flight information. Now you need to enter your flight details. Now details about the first international leg of your trip to New Zealand are important for prioritizing processing of traveller declarations. Now does your trip to New Zealand involve more than one international flight? And if you select yes, let's see what to expect. Now you need to put in your first international airport of departure. You need to put in the date of departure, local time, and then the time of departure. And then next it says the date you will arrive in New Zealand. So put in the day, month and year and the flight number, and then you can proceed to continue. Now, does your trip to New Zealand involve more than one international flight? Now, if you do select no, go ahead and put in the date you will arrive in New Zealand. So date, month and year, and then put in your flight number for arrival flight, and then proceed to continue. Now, if you need to enter your flight number manually, then go ahead and put in your flight number here. Put in where it's departing from, so the departing airport code. So in this example, there's SID, or the Sydney Airport, or the Melbourne Airport. So ensure that you put in the departure airport code that you're departing from if you are entering these details in manually. Now go ahead and put in the date of departure. Now, sorry, I'll go back. Now, the only reason why you would need to enter your arrival flight details manually is if they don't show up in here once you've typed it in. So in this example, I've typed in a flight number, but it's not showing up. So I will need to go and enter the details manually. Now again, go put in your departure date, the local time of departure, and then the airport that you are arriving into. Then again, confirm that these are your flight details and proceed to continue. Your emergency contact details. Now, please provide the details of someone we can contact if we can't reach you. And they don't have to be in New Zealand, but please let them know that you have given us their details. So go ahead and put in the name of your emergency contact in this box here. Put their relationship to you. So if it's a brother, a sister, an aunt, a cousin, or a friend, then put that in there. Put in their contact phone number. So put in their country code and their phone number there. Put in their email, and then proceed to continue. Now, after you complete each section, you will come to this page here, which is My Declaration, and it says here that your declaration has been automatically saved and can be accessed again from your email. So if you have saved it because, there's another part that you want to do later, or you don't have the information, you can access your declaration through the link in your email. So over here you can see your upcoming trip details, the traveller details, and then you can see here the tasks. So you can see that the passport details have been added, the trip details have been added, emergency contact details have been added, and now we are going to go ahead and add contact tracing information. Now for your contact details, how can we reach you once you are in New Zealand? Now the email address that you provided earlier should automatically show up in here. However, if it doesn't, then go ahead and put in an email address that you can be reached on when you are in New Zealand. Next, you'll need to put in your contact phone while you are in New Zealand. So if you do have global roaming, then go ahead and put in your country code and put in your phone number. Now, if you don't have a contact phone while you are in New Zealand, if you're staying in a hotel, I would just go ahead and put in the number for the hotel. If you are staying with family or friends, then just put in their number. Yeah, that's what I would do. Put in your physical address in New Zealand. And if you are just visiting New Zealand, what is your expected date of departure? Now, if you don't have a confirmed date, then just go ahead and put in a approximate or estimated date in there. So date, month and year, and then proceed to continue. Vaccination details. Now, please provide proof of your COVID-19 vaccinations. Now, you do not need to upload a vaccination certificate if you are entering on a New Zealand passport. So please select the back arrow at the top of the page to proceed to the next step. Okay, so if you are traveling on a New Zealand passport, then you do not need to put in your vaccination details here. So all you Kiwis, go and select this back arrow here. Now, if you have a New Zealand residence class visa or you're an Australian citizen living in New Zealand, you must carry proof of your New Zealand residence status to show at check-in and on arrival in New Zealand. Now, this may require additional processing time at the border. To avoid this, you may choose to upload proof of vaccination instead. Now, if you don't want to be held up, then go ahead and upload proof of your vaccination here. So if you need to read about the vaccination requirements, then click on this link here. Now, if none of that applies to you and you're ready to upload your vaccination certificates, then go to Agree. Now you need to enter the following details as they appear on your international vaccination certificate. So go ahead and put in your given names as shown on your certificate and put in your surname as shown on your certificate, then proceed to next. Now you need to enter the following details as they appear on your international vaccination certificate. So go ahead and put in the total number of doses on the certificate. Now if you've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you go ahead and put in the total number of doses as shown on your certificate. So in my example, I'm going to go ahead and put in 3 doses, and as you can see here, you will need to provide the information for each of these fields. So in dose 1, put in the type of COVID vaccine that you've had. So if you've had the Pfizer, you put in Pfizer. So you can see here that these are all the different Pfizer options for you to choose from. But yeah, just go ahead and type in whatever vaccination you have received, and then you've got a whole list there for you to choose from. Okay, so put in your COVID-19 vaccine for your first dose, put in the date, the month and the year, and then you repeat the process for dose 2. So if dose 2 is a different vaccine type, then put that in. So put in the COVID vaccine type that you've had for dose 2. If you have had a dose 2, put in the date of the vaccination, the month and the year. And again, repeat it for dose 3. If you did have a dose 3, again, put in the COVID-19 vaccine type, put in the date of the vaccination, the month and the year. And once you've filled in that information, drag or upload your international vaccination certificate here, and the accepted formats are PDF, PNG and JPEG. So once you've filled in all this information, you'll be able to upload or drag your vaccination certificate into this field here. Now if you are having problems uploading a file, then click on this link here and it will help you to hopefully solve that problem, and then proceed to continue here. And if you are exempt, these are the questions you should expect. Now, are you exempt from the vaccination requirements? If you select yes, then there is more information about medical exemptions here, so click on that link there to find out more. Now, you will need to provide proof of your exemption at check-in and on arrival into New Zealand. Now, if you do not provide this information, you may not be able to board your flight or enter New Zealand when you arrive. And if you are not exempt, you may not be able to travel to and enter New Zealand. And if you do select that you are exempt from the vaccination requirements, select yes and then agree, and it will take you back here. Okay, so now in this example, because I do hold a New Zealand passport, I'm going to go ahead and select the back arrow. Now we come back here and I'm going to go to the last task here, which is provide travel information. In this section, it's all about your recent travel information. And it says here, to help determine what you need to do when you arrive in New Zealand, we need to know what countries you have visited or will visit or transit through in the 14 days prior to your arrival in New Zealand. Now here it says countries I have visited or will visit or transit through. Now the country I'm flying from is Australia. Now I have visited this country on my way back to New Zealand, so I'm going to put in there Australia, then put in the states that you have traveled from or visited. And if you need to add any other states or any other countries, go ahead and select these options here. So say I've also visited WA, Western Australia, I would add that in there. And if I have visited another country in the 14 days prior to my visit to New Zealand, then I would put in, okay, I can see Cook Islands here, I'll put in Cook Islands. And if I have visited any other countries in the 14 days prior, then I would add those countries as well. Once you have done that, then proceed to continue. Okay, and then we come back to this part here, my declaration, and as you can see at the bottom here, if you've made any changes to your details, you must resubmit to get an updated traveller pass. Now, if you're happy with all the information that you have provided, then go ahead and proceed to submit declaration. And once you have submitted that information, you will come to the screen here which says, thank you for completing your New Zealand Traveller Declaration. And then it says here, I understand that under the Air Border Order, at the time of travel to New Zealand must not be subject to public health direction in any country, for example, directed to isolate or be tested for COVID-19, or have prematurely ended a period of isolation or quarantine in any country except where I am exempt from a specific requirement. Now, if you need to read the privacy policy, click on this link here. And it says here, I understand the New Zealand Customs Service, the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Business, Innovation and Employment will collect, use and disclose my personal information. And this is to be consistent with the COVID-19 Public Health Response Act 2020 and orders made under that Act in order to confirm your eligibility to travel to and enter New Zealand through the applicable health management pathway and where required to support and monitor your compliance with any public health requirements such as contact tracing and health testing. If you're happy to agree to that, then go ahead and check and proceed to confirm. And next it says, thanks, your New Zealand Traveller Declaration has been submitted. Your information will now be assessed. Now, if you meet the requirements, you will be emailed a traveller pass, and this will let you know what you need to do when you arrive. And the email will contain a QR code unique to you and unique to this journey. You will need to show this traveller pass at check-in for your flight and at customs on arrival in New Zealand. Now, the assessment of each declaration is prioritised according to the traveller's first international leg to New Zealand. Okay, let's go ahead and proceed to done. And as you can see here, it says that your declaration has been submitted. Now, within 10 seconds of submitting my New Zealand Traveller Declaration, I received this email from the Traveller Declaration Department. And as you can see here, it has your name there, the arrival date and flight details there. It says your New Zealand Traveller Declaration has been accepted. Your New Zealand Traveller Pass contains a QR code which is unique to you and this journey, and please print the attached Traveller Pass or save it to your device and have it ready to show at check-in and to border officials when you arrive in New Zealand. It goes on to say your pathway for entering New Zealand is self-testing. So that means you take the test on day 0 or 1 and then on day 5 or 6. And if you need more information, click on that link there. And when you travel, please carry your vaccination certificate and any evidence of exemptions as required. And these documents may be checked by an authorised New Zealand border official. Now, in addition to your approved New Zealand Traveller Declaration, you will still need to meet any immigration requirements, all right? So click on this link here for more information, and you will also need to check the vaccination requirements of the airline you are travelling with. Now, to give you an idea, this is what your New Zealand Traveller Pass will look like. So you'll have your QR code here, and then it says here, this is your New Zealand Traveller Pass. It has the date that you arrive, it has your name there, your receipt number, your passport number, your nationality, and your arrival flight, and then it has the disclaimer there. Okay. Okay, and that concludes our tutorial on the New Zealand Traveller Declaration. Thanks for listening, and I hope you found this tutorial helpful. And if you did find it helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. Now, if you do have questions, please don't hesitate to comment below. Now, I might not be able to answer your query immediately, so have a look in the comments section below, where there have been lots of questions posted and answered. So if I'm slow at replying to your query might already be answered in the comments section below. So have a look through that. Also, have a look in the description box for the timestamps and the contact details for the Help Centre, as they are available 24/7 if you have any queries regarding the New Zealand Traveller Declaration. Okay, so thanks for your time. Take care and safe travels to the beautiful New Zealand or Aotearoa. Thank you and bye.